Another aspect we were talking about in the group was loneliness and the difference between loneliness and just being alone, kind of circumstance versus choice, and how much they can tolerate loneliness. So there's thoughts about what we do with our loneliness, right? We get either hyper focused on work, or maybe there's certain activity that we will do that is a numbing activity. And maybe some of what needs to be worked on was one of the discussions we had recently was this idea about being much more thoughtful about how you spend your time alone, making it more fulfilling, not just let's fill it in, let's fill it up, but okay, what do we want to do in this afternoon that we have off, or the day that we don't have anything going on? And if some of it is this hesitation to date, or this hesitation to get into another relationship, and a hesitation to go back into your own isms, whatever they might be. A lot of folks talked about more so the ism of workaholism and being too exhausted to do anything at the end of the day to take care of themselves. That the being alone is about taking care of yourself, and planning your alone time to take care of yourself is the goal, not just like the afterthought. Um, so there's when we're developing a new chapter, we have just as much downtime to develop it. And that's the time that we can actually work on ourselves and develop different skills and hobbies and activities and different ways that we were in than the old relationship that we were in. Or maybe we even go back to some of the ways that we were before we went into our relationship that was really influential or had a lot of impact. That might mean revisiting old friends. That might mean going back to your old hobbies and seeing if you like them anymore. And then also what it means, underlight, highlight, circle, for you to get used to taking care of yourself, because there's nothing more attractive in the world that people who are well cared for. I think it's a really attractive quality. And that means you can be present. That means you can be open, vulnerable, emotional, available. But sometimes we have to build that back up within ourselves, and not in a rigid way that we're like OCD about it, but more in a way that we know the difference between just haphazard loneliness and circumstantial or very focused loneliness, like very intentional times, not loneliness, being alone, very intentional being alone times. And when the loneliness comes up in a time that you're being alone, you need to look at what is it about and how long does it last? And is it unbearable? And how can you develop some coping skills to deal with that feeling? Because I think sometimes people are so afraid of loneliness, being alone, that it's just traumatic just to have any space like that. So my challenge to you is, whether you're coming into this kind of group setting or not, is to really challenge yourself when you're feeling alone or lonely, and find out what the difference is. See what it's like if you're more intentional about the time that you spend. Make sure you have a few activities that you can do that will help you through that time, because it will probably pass. And there's another day that you'll wake up to, and you can try again to better organize your time and organize the time that you're by yourself, if it's intolerable. And then you get to practice actually modulating and titrating how much time is too much time to be alone when it starts becoming lonely, and how much time is just enough because you need time to take care of yourself and heal and think and grow and change. So this is a lot of other conversations in the group, is looking at the quality of time we have in our life and how we're spending it and how we're focusing on ourselves, because our relationship with ourselves is one of the key elements here. And if you have a really good, strong connection with yourself, and you know how to take care of yourself, and you're wanting to get into another relationship, this is going to be a really great chapter for you to spend on yourself. And if you want to spend your life not in another relationship, which is completely fine, then how are you going to feel like you have a life that you want to have? What's the vision of that for yourself? And how will you spend quality time in your life if that's the case? So these are all questions, the way we live our lives, the way we live our daily lives, the different chapters in our life that are spent different ways.